And look at the driver standings now. Hamilton just 6 points ahead of Felipe Massa. Kubica 18 or so behind, but moving up. A good effort from him today. And 12 behind there for Kubica. And the manufacturer's title, Ferrari, have moved ahead now. And 6 points ahead. And BMW Sauber just 7 behind McLaren. It's really tightened up there. Mark, so did Lewis Hamilton leave his brain on the grid today?
I'm surprised, I really am. I think, there's been a lot of talk about him not pushing and not going for the win all during this week. And I think at the end of the day, when it came to the start line, maybe it got to him a little bit. The question is for me, was it avoidable? And I think 100% it was avoidable. There's no need for Lewis Hamilton to be putting himself in that situation. At the end of the day as well, he pushed the Ferrari wide, and in that point, look what happens here. He even nearly takes his teammate out. Watch him swipe across here, puts his teammate at risk, puts the Ferrari into a situation which is not possible for him to go around the outside. He's locked up his brakes, and he's locked his brakes up to the point where his tyres have gone down to the canvas. So he's got to come in on that lap, whatever.
Yeah, he really did push the Ferrari clean off the road as well, so his subsequent drive-through penalty was deserved, I think.
Yeah, I think there's got to be some questions asked. He's not going to win a championship doing that kind of thing. There was no need for it. I'm sure when they get back to base, they're going to have a little bit of consideration of what's gone on. But, he's still in contention for the title. We know that. But he's putting himself at risk.
So he's fluffed the start, and then he's flat-spotted his tyres, and he hasn't to the end of the first lap yet.
Well, and then you come up to the situation of the Massa-Hamilton affair. As you said, his tyres are flat-spotted at this point. So did he really need to, again, go and put himself into the situation with Massa there? OK, he goes up the inside of him. It's a clean move. Yes, I think this is a fair deal as well, because Massa is completely off the road at this point. And again, the key word for me is avoidable. And I think Massa could have avoided that incident.
Yes, it's a fair cop, I think, for that penalty. Another drive-through from him. He managed to get himself back up to 8th place, though. But Lewis's pace initially seemed as if he would be able to hang on to Massa. He was catching him for a while, but he started to fall away, and Massa just charged his way through and regained a point.
Yeah, unusual for Felipe Massa, because normally when he's back down there, he struggles to get through, but he kept pushing. He knew that there was a point there. I think the other thing as well was just Lewis Hamilton being back in that situation that he's not used to. We saw the situation of a blue flag being given to Lewis Hamilton. He's having to give up the lead as such here from his point of view. In many ways he would look at it, but he wasn't in a leading position by any means, and truly comes by and puts him a lap down.
Yeah, unusual situation. Lewis Hamilton has left the circuit, I'm being told, and what does that tell you about his mind?
Well, I think we saw this maybe last year. We saw this after Shanghai. There's a mistake made. I'm pretty sure that he knows that he made an error, and he's going to go away and try and think about it and see what he can do and to come back for next weekend. And he's got to put himself in the situation of being strong and he's mind-focused.
And then it just went doubly bad for McLaren with Kovalainen.
Yeah, unbelievable. I mean, just as we got told that there was a drive-through penalty for Lewis Hamilton, bingo, the other McLaren goes wrong, and they've got an engine failure, it looks like, at this point. We've got to get that confirmed and clarified. But what bad luck for Heikki Kovalainen. I think at this stage he was in a strong position to contend for the win of this race, but not to be.
Well, I think he had the pace, but what a job Alonso did today.
Well, we spoke about that at the top of the show. We said, watch him, he's a canny lad. He's going to take an opportunity. He's going to watch what goes on up front, and he's going to make sure that he collects all the pieces, and that's what he did. He watched and he saw what went on, and when the opportunity came, he put it right. I mean, a stunning drive by Alonso. At Renault, you also have to say, great progress by them.
Absolutely, with Piquet coming in 4th. But Massa had yet another squabble later on in the race.
Well, I'm pleased to say Lewis has come back to the track and has come out to talk to us as well. Lewis, I guess the story of your race is very much dictated by the opening lap. The move at the first corner, do you not feel that was a little bit risky?
Yeah.
So in hindsight, you would have done it differently?
Of course. You can always look back and wish you did something, but I made a mistake and I paid for it. So this sort of thing happens. You just got to keep your head up and keep going.
And then the dive on you by Massa just a few corners later. I mean, that was a pretty aggressive move as well, wasn't it?
Well, we both got the same penalty, but I didn't hit anyone, but he did. So I guess that's just the name of the game.
I mean, obviously not the result you would have wanted in any way, shape or form, but what do you feel the impact of this result is on your championship hopes?
I don't think it makes any difference. I lost 1 point today, which is, I guess, damaged limitation. And, you know, we move on to next week. We'll still be as competitive, and we're going to make sure we win the last 2 races.
What's your tactic for the next 2 races? Maybe take it a bit cautiously?
You know, we plan on winning.
At any cost?
Not at any cost, but we plan on winning.
Thanks, Lewis.
Okay, guys, thank you.
Well, he seems calm and reflective there.
Yeah, I think he puts his hands up and he says, I made an error, and he paid for it. And, you know, rightly so, that's what happened. But I'm slightly worried. I'm slightly worried when he turns around and said, they're still going to go out and win, because I think that's what happened today, and it went wrong. And I'm not sure he needs to quite, you know, do that. We know he can win. We know he can win Grand Prix quite easily.
Fair comment that he didn't hit anybody, but Massa did hit him.
Ooh, that's a difficult one. You know, for the grace of God that the Ferraris moved wide and got out the way, because Lewis was locked up for a long, long time going into turn 1 and could have collected several cars. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's done and dusted. Next 2 Grand Prix is focus.
Fernando Alonso wins 2 Grand Prix. He's a double world champion, and he hasn't announced a drive for 2009. How does he do that?
Well, I think maybe he's going to wait till the end of the season now, because certainly he's going well with it. No, I think there's only going to be one place for him in reality, and he's got to stay with Renault. I don't see him going anywhere else. Be a big risk to go to Honda, knowing what the situation is at present with performance.
Surely he should be leading a McLaren or a Ferrari or a BMW team next year, though.
Yeah, I think that's possible, but I think it's too late. I think he's got to go and stay on board and wait for another year.
Let's take a look at the TV schedules coming up shortly. The Japanese Grand Prix today, there'll be a rerun of the race at 3 o'clock. And tonight, 11:15 p.m. for the highlights. Looking ahead to next weekend's Chinese Grand Prix from Shanghai, qualifying live at 6 a.m. on the Saturday, qualifying rerun 3:25 p.m. on Sunday, the race live at 7 a.m. and the race rerun at 2:55 p.m. Lewis Hamilton came here with a 7-point advantage. He lost his head after a bad start, goes home though with a 6-point advantage. He will want to fast track to China. So do we. Please join us there. Goodbye.